Hello everybody, happy Monday. My name is Elise and welcome to my tea table. Today I have for you another segment of our series, Dignified Hospitality, where we talk about what we can do to bring more dignity to our food systems. This goes everywhere from the farms to the supply chain to the restaurants, including all the staff, cooks, chefs, including service staff and bartenders, as well as the consumer. So every Monday I get together on my live stream and we discuss these things. If you were here last week, I had a very cool guest on, Hungry Wolf Kitchen from Twitch. Another food and drink streamer from Twitch came on to talk with us about his perspective as far as being a food educator. He actually teaches cooking to consumers at a local grocery store chain in his community. And unfortunately, all of that kind of came to a standstill when the pandemic happened. So gratefully, I'm having the opportunity to have a very deep conversation with people that are typically very busy. Hey Nick, what's up, man? Happy Monday, good to see you. Hi Swagga, what's up Swagga? Thank you for coming by. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a beautiful weekend. Today I am streaming from my friend's food truck. He told me that he was just going to be doing some food prep and I wouldn't be in the way. So I figured, I could bring my tea table in here and we can see exactly how difficult and how time consuming making food can be and how we all can do our part to bring more dignity. What's up, Nick? Look what I got. A little social eating today. Yesterday was Super Bowl. Yesterday was the big game. I'm sure everybody, not everybody, some people do not partake, but there's definitely a lot of good food that's eaten. I was actually trying to get myself a back screen of like a bunch of like steamy hot buffalo wings, but I couldn't get that together. So instead my friend said, hey, come on by the food truck. I'll just be, cutting up some chicken. So he's just, prepping some stuff. He says, yeah, go ahead. You can stream from right in here. And I'm sure what I'm going to share today will be relevant for him. He'll be happy to hear because first I'm going to go over Yelp's annual economic average report. So Yelp puts out usually quarterly as well as annually these local economic average reports where they give you kind of a breakdown of how the businesses on their platform are doing. Of course, Yelp has a lot of data and it's very good that they make that data public. So I'm going to go over the 2020 report to kind of see how the restaurant industry closed out by the end of last year, which of course was a very stressful year for everybody in the industry and not just that, just everybody in general. And then I'm going to go into some new legislation that Congress has recently introduced. Reintroduced is the right word because some I don't know if it's bailout, but support legislation specifically for the food industry, the restaurant industry, was introduced last year as part of the CARES Act, but that did not make its way through, did not get voted through, but now there's a reintroduction of that restaurant support. So yeah, before I get into that, I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to prep some tea. And of course, gonna do a little social eating with you guys. Yeah, so today's social eating is coming from Pizza Monzu, picked up yesterday, right before the game. And I've just reheated some of the pizza here in my my little what do you call this thing? Tiny little oven. I was trying to heat it up in my Easy Bake Oven because I've got the Easy Bake Oven here, but unfortunately the pizza was just too big. So I gotten two pizzas. This place does like Sicilian style pizzas, sourdough, really delicious. So this is a spicy, I think both of them are the same. It's a spicy sausage, walnuts, cheese of course, tomato, and this is some basil on top as well. Pretty crispy cooked. Actually, I got 2 pizzas from them. They were very different, the 2 pizzas, as far as like how they were baked. So I'm sure the restaurant was super swamped yesterday. They were doing this deal is pretty much almost half price for their pizzas. Really gourmet, amazing pizzas. What did you guys do for the game? Let me know. Did you guys get together with friends? Can you see this? For dessert, got myself some cannolis. Of course, these are day-old cannolis, so they're not as good as they were yesterday. Oh, they were fabulous yesterday. Still crispy, freshly piped. They're pretty soft now, but still very delicious and not worthy for the trash can, that's for sure. So there's honey on this pizza too. The walnut with the honey. And a really rich cheese. It's not a super melty cheese. Like, I think there is some melty cheese on here, but there's additionally some really sweet, kind of soft cheese. Swagga. I hope you don't mind me calling it Swagga. I just like that name. It's a great name. It is a great name. Bitcoin is definitely interested in this pizza. Do you guys eat any interesting football food? Any quirky, like, funny shaped food? I know a lot of people when they do parties, they like to. Oh, let's just do a little quick search. What could be fun? Funny Super Bowl food. You know, things shaped like footballs or. There's some gems here, that's for sure. Look at this one. Dang. They got the whole stadium there and all the sandwiches stacked up around it. Man, that's effort. This is cute too. A little guacamole with the field on it. What is this? Like little fried rice patties? Yeah, this stuff is just like insane. So it's like a meat and cheese platter, cookies, crackers, all those kinds of snacks. It's like the audience here. It's incredible. This looks like a little more simpler. Definitely doesn't look as welcoming. I don't know, that guac is looking pretty sus. There's this. Oh, these are cute. Cute little cupcakes. Everything edible. Oh, that one looks nice. Yeah, I didn't eat anything like this. We just had really good pizza and cannolis. And yeah, my mom made some hot wings. Right? This is it. Speaking of the Super Bowl and restaurant industry, drinking some purple white tea here. I actually started drinking this tea yesterday, then saved it in my Gaiwan, and now I'm revisiting it today. That's totally something that you can do. Not a problem at all. It's such a sad thing to see wasted tea. To see tea that doesn't get all of its full steepings out of it and doesn't get enjoyed fully. So I am definitely a fan of saving tea. I don't think that there's any health issue. I mean, the tea usually dries. I'm in the desert, so just the normal moisture content in the air here makes the leaves dry pretty much immediately. So really no chance of mold growing on it and spoiling the tea leaves. To a cool little synth jam. This is Eigenstill and Tino. Cool little deep house track. Little vibe, just a little deep house vibe. Bitcoin, what do you think? The crust is a little bit hard, you know, because it got baked. The other pizza that we got was much softer, much less baked. But still very delicious. Give Bitcoin some. All right, so I heard at the Super Bowl yesterday there was a commercial. Oh. Hey, Snake Eye. Happy Monday. There's minimal amount of meat on here, but all in moderation. Yeah, Snake Eye, it's totally cool to do that. Totally cool to like save your tea, especially if you've only taken a couple of steeps out. Well, Meat, I'm happy you're here. We can definitely discuss what you've brought up here, as this is a segment on dignified hospitality. So yeah, let's dig into that. I'm not afraid to. Let's dig into it. I identify myself as someone who practices ahimsa and actually had discontinued eating meat for several months. Seems that you're brand new to Twitch. Well, welcome to Twitch, Meat. Are you planning on streaming? Are you planning on sharing with the world your ideas around what you just shared with me? Yeah, I just looked you up. Just looked you up, Meat. You got no information about yourself on Twitch, which is fine. But, you know, my advice to you is if you're going to come into someone's stream and say something so, it's aggressive what you're saying. And that's okay. I actually advocate for aggression. I think it's very healthy and very strong. So, but, you know, it's aggression without... First and foremost, without introducing yourself into a community to explain what you're what your viewpoint is, because you know you want to talk about agony and evil and dignity and respect, like that's all we talk about here, and so that's why I hold space for this. But you know, introducing yourself first and letting us understand your viewpoint and how you're coming in is going to make us more receptive to talking with you about what you just so aggressively stated. You like to get to business. I like to get to business too. So what are other evil things? Let's talk about other evil things than meat. And how about... So this is all you're doing? You're just going throughout Twitch and you're talking to a dozen streamers a night, just blasting in their chat about these evil things? Where do you live, meat? And do you grow all your own food? Because I too also took that viewpoint that eating meat is inherently violent, not evil. I shouldn't say that the word evil is actually yeah, he probably does get banned a lot. Depending on, you operate from the UK, cool, awesome. Yeah, so whenever I first came across ahimsa is actually a Hindi term meaning nonviolence. Whenever I first started to research that term and got really deep into it, hey Ariel, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Currently talking to somebody on Twitch about the evils of meat. So if you'd like to stick around for this conversation, please help yourself. So yeah, when I first got into that, I took it very seriously, and I kind of went down the path of like the Jain. So they're like a branch of Hinduism. Where they don't eat meat, they don't even cut their hair. They believe that cutting their hair, like cutting something off of your natural body, is not evil. It's not the right word. Violent. Violent is the right word. And you don't kill flies. How about bacteria? How do you handle that? And even like plants, when we harvest plants to eat them, there's actually a lot of pain there. Tea, we talk about tea, you talk about agony. Yeah, Jainism, they try not to kill anything. And then even like the whole question about like bacteria, like they don't even want to step on. That is not true. Me. I've actually worked in slaughterhouses. I know how they get killed. But I guess, getting gassed is a relatively humane way. I don't know. This is a pretty deep topic. You're wanting me to go down this route, so I'm more than confident to talk about it. Because yeah, I've actually and it's interesting because whenever I was studying ahimsa and decided not to eat meat, I was in a food science program, and I had to take a meat science class in a slaughterhouse, and had to go through all of that. And then immediately after that, I went to the Peace Corps, and I lived in a small rural village in West Africa. And I was advised before I went to the Peace Corps, before I went to go live in the middle of nowhere in Africa, that I should not have any dietary restrictions, because it can be very detrimental. Because these are communities where they only get to eat what's available, what's there. If not, hunger is your only option. And so I had reintegrated meat into my diet. And yeah, I mean, this is an ongoing argument, and there's a lot to be said about not just the humanity of killing animals, of raising and killing animals for the purpose of our diet, but the environmental impact and economical impact. So I would definitely agree with you that like industrialized dairy, industrialized, especially pig farming, because pig farming, whenever it's like small scale, like the pig farming that I see in China and India, whenever I travel there to visit with the tea growers, it's actually very sustainable. It's actually very, very sustainable and replenishing to the families, and the families actually have a strong relationship with the pigs, even if they do end up slaughtering it to kill it. So there are ways where humanity and ahimsa can be integrated into a meat-based diet. But my suggestion for you, I'm about to ban you right now because your energy is too aggressive and not open enough for my platform. But I am going to give you some advice before I ban you right now. That if you really want to make change in the world, like I've dedicated my entire life to making change in the world, you have to learn what battles to fight. And you have to learn what to compromise your own values on or not. And I can see where you're going to file a report. No. There's not going to be any response to that. that's how consent and yeah, that's just general consent. Yeah, Snake Eye, thanks for being here to see this. But yeah, I'm just trying to give you some advice. If you want to change people's perspective, you need to do it in a more friendly, approachable way. And the way that you did it for my my stream today, just not gonna do it. So, cool. That was fun. But yes, please, eat less meat. That's my advice. That's what I like to advocate, eat less meat. Eat better quality meat as well. So like the meat that is on this pizza is actually coming from a like artisanal makers. And even if there's no certification of this is organic, this is fair trade, as long as it's artisanal, you can trust that there's going to be more nonviolence involved, more dignity, more respect involved in producing that product. McDonald's, on the other hand, no. So yeah, go sit outside McDonald's. You can protest there. That's always so funny. I like sometimes like this happens in the tea world where like people will want to like target certain like specialty companies and call them out for stuff. Pricing is one thing. They'll say, oh, you overcharge for your stuff. And I'm like, do you sit outside of the Tivana or do you sit outside the, you know, the normal commodity, you know, upscale branded commodity products and sit outside their businesses and tell their customers that they're getting overcharged? No. Like, so why is it always the small businesses that get targeted? Anyway. It's good advice, Snake Eye. Don't feed the trolls. For sure. I don't know. I don't mind it. That's something that I like to do on my stream because it's happened a few times before, and I'm not going to say that it was trolls that were responsible for it, but I got called racist on my stream like last month or like a month and a half ago. And every time I've told the story, everybody just equates that, oh, it was trolls. It was a troll. Like, you just got to leave them alone. Just don't listen to them. And I actually ended up using it as a really great exercise to talk about a very subtle thing that happened. And it wasn't my response of how I responded, my immediate like emotional response was actually coming from a position of like supremacy. And I caught it right away, and it was a really great practice, like to live on camera, be able to process that. And I didn't even have to ban that person. That person said they were going to block me. They're like, yeah, I'm out of your life. I'm blocking you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So I didn't even have to ban them. So sometimes there's two things in dealing with trolls. The first one, I've learned this from Reddit, is that no one can troll you if you troll first, like troll yourself first. And so that's really the only way you can have success on Reddit at a scale. Twitch is definitely a different environment. I find because the video is there, there's faces there, and then there's community that's like live there, like watching and engaging with what's going on. I think it makes it a lot less likely for trolls, although they do come. The only rule that I have, and I just updated my bio, and I was like thinking about adding that to my rules. The only rule that I have where you will get an immediate ban, like if I read your comment and I'm not even gonna address it, I'm not even gonna do anything, is if you sexualize me. All right, looks like change it up a little bit. Didn't know they were gonna play a licensed song there. All right, Bitcoin, you ready? He's making such a mess. He hates crunchy things. He just makes always such a mess. Yeah, so just troll yourself first. It's always good. But yeah, I don't condone anybody sexualizing me, especially if it's off the bat. Now, if someone is like friendly and then they accidentally say something that either sexualizes me or someone else, I'll hold space for that, and I'll hold a dialogue for learning from that. But if the first thing you do is Sexualize me. The first comment you say is sexualizing me. Out. Dunzo. Don't got no time for that. Huh, Ariel? Yeah, that last track was pretty cool. It was like a synth guitar jam. This is also a synth guitar jam. This is a different one, but the other one, they started playing like a sample from like a licensed song, so I needed to change it. Because now, when you produce content on the internet, you have to be extra careful about using licensed content, especially music. So now back to my murderous pizza. Speaking of murder, I was watching Tev's stream this morning, and he was this sweet potato, or this one, or this one. Is this one you're asking about, or this one? Oh, I think this is the one you're asking about. This is my tea pet. It's actually kind of like a slug, but he's missing one eye. One of his eyes fell off. I never replaced it, but yeah, this is like a handmade ceramic. It is pretty hollow. You can see this is like a hole, so it's hollow. It's not completely solid, but it's still pretty heavy. Yeah, it's a slug. It's really cute. I forget his name. The artist that makes this, so there's an artist in Washington State that makes tea pets, ceramic tea pets, and she gives really funny, quirky names. You can see him. He's really funny, quirky names to the slugs. Or she has all kinds of pets, slugs and turtles, and they all have funny names. Like, I think his last name, this one or another one that was gifted to us, had the last name of Duvet Cover. It's like Harold Duvet Cover. I think that was his name. Actually, this might be it. This is Harold Duvet Cover. Yeah. And then this is persimmon, which in Chinese culture is like prosperity and So you made an ebook with that stuff? I'd like to check it out. You want to send me a link or email me a link? I'll check it out. And maybe if you are fine with me doing that, I can share it. I can share it on my live streams with the community. But Outwoken Tea, who's a good friend of ours in Milwaukee, tea business in Milwaukee, says that she made a whole ebook on eco-friendly tips on how to improve your daily habits. And that's what it's about. It's about thinking holistically on it versus trying to like demonize. Bitcoin, stop it. Go sit down and be quiet. You cannot do this. You have to think holistically versus trying to demonize one part of it or the other. Yeah, and just prioritize the battles you're going to fight. Because if not, you're just constantly going to go through life like I did, feeling like, oh, if I eat meat, I'll be a hypocrite. Or if I don't practice this thing 100% fully, I'm going to be a hypocrite. And so then like I kind of like gave up altogether on the whole concept. It's like, well, why even try if I'm just going to like inevitably become a hypocrite every single time? So yeah, I kind of let go of all that stuff. Yep, and then Snake Eye finally, for my dessert, I've got here a little cannoli action, a little pistachio nut. First cannoli I've ever had that did not have chocolate chips in it, but pistachio is really great. It's so good. Unfortunately, they're a day old now, so they're not crunchy still. Pretty soggy now, but still delicious, so I'll get into it. Okay, so I was going to look for that commercial. I heard that on the Super Bowl, the Restaurant Association, which is the leading advocacy group for restaurant industry, they are the ones that are heading up all the lobbying for the legislative measures that I'll be talking about in a second. But they ran a commercial for the Super Bowl ad last night, and I did not see it, but I figured we could watch it together. I don't remember any, like, I watched the game, but not like attention, all there. I was just kind of eating pizza and cannolis and the game was on. And I didn't think any of the commercials none of them grabbed my attention. I mean, I'm always like, as soon as commercials come on, I'm always like, let me check them out. Nothing was interesting this year. I don't know. Did you guys see any good commercials? All right. Well, a simple Google search did not bring it up, so I had received an email from them, so I'm sure it's in the email. We can watch it. Oh, they posted it to Instagram. That's interesting. All right, let's see.
All those who have helped us celebrate, turned ingredients into magic. Thank you. You've always made your happy place our happy place. For more than 170 years, Cointreau has been proud to be part of your team. Now we're partnering with the Independent Restaurant Coalition to help save restaurants. Write your love letter at Cointreau.com/save-restaurants.
Okay.
Dear bars and restaurants.
Interesting. Okay, we gotta write a love letter? What? What does that even mean? Let's check out. Of course, an alcohol website, so I have to tell them I'm old. Yes, I'm old. All right, let's see. Write your love letter. Who am I writing? It's Valentine's Day. So I guess they got it. But this is interesting because it's probably actually going to be a letter to Congress. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's so cute. It's simple. It's not like that. So they're just giving you all these templates with this like guest check template. And with your phone, you can write a message to like your local restaurants. And I mean, they're wanting you to tag Cointreau, of course. Yeah, we got to give some marketing to the alcohol company. And then the hashtag save restaurants. That's the hashtag that they're trying to advocate with this. And so this is all related to the Restaurants Act. So that Independent Restaurants Coalition they're partnering with is lobbying with the government to help sustain the industry. And it was part of the CARES Act. They were trying to... Cointreau, Cointreau is actually a very good spirit. I love Cointreau. It's really good in margaritas and pretty much anything. It just kind of gives it a cool little orange flavor. I've never played with tea. I think it'd be pretty good with tea. Well, I hope you got some kind of libation, Snake Eye, when you were out and about. You deserve it. We all deserve it. Hey, Casa de Cha, what's up? I'm eating pizza and cannolis and drinking tea, as usual. But we're talking about the restaurant industry. I mean, that's what's funny, is that this is supposed to be about like supporting the restaurants, and all of the alcohol companies are actually doing quite well right now. The restaurants aren't. The alcohol companies are doing fine because people are going to Costco and buying the big bottles of Cointreau, so doing good. This is from Good Morning America. That's always fun. Been a while since I've watched that news outlet. So the Restaurants Act has received overwhelming bipartisan support in the Senate. Oh, okay, so it's in the Senate now. So this is crafted to provide long-term relief to the hard-hit establishments. On Friday, Yeah, this is this. Okay. The bill got introduced, and it was voted 90-10 in the Senate, supporting a budget amendment that will establish a dedicated restaurant relief fund. The new legislation is modeled after the act that was introduced in Congress in June. The proposal could create a $120 billion restaurant revitalization fund to provide relief to the food service or drinking establishments that are part of a group of up to 20 facilities. So I guess that's what they require to be like an independent restaurant, is that you have less than 20 facilities. Then after that, I guess you're a chain or something. But I'm sure like those chains are still going to find a way to get access to this relief. What? The legislation comes on the heels of a new January jobs report from the Department of Labor that showed 19,000 more restaurant and bar workers lost their jobs in the first month of 2021, despite gains across the economy. How could that be? Like, the whole segment of that market is doing financially better, as they're saying, but then more jobs lost. And that's with a second round of PPP, the payroll protection that all these businesses could get access to. The food and beverage industry has seen monumental loss, nearly 2.5 million jobs, far more than any other industry. And more than 1 in 4 people out of work from the pandemic worked in a restaurant or bar. 110,000 restaurants have closed for good. Ensuring the 11 million people employed by the restaurants and bars can continue to earn a living is vital to rebuilding our economy after the pandemic. So I think it already got passed by Congress, and so then the Senate passed it. Business operators could apply for grants up to $10 million to cover eligible expenses retroactively to February 15th, 2020, and ending 8 months after the legislation is signed into law. Operators who secure a grant could use the funds for payroll, benefits, mortgage, rent, utilities, building maintenance, construction of outdoor facilities, PPP supplies, food, operational expenses, paid sick leave, debt obligations to suppliers, and other essential expenses. There are additional provisions in the new legislation to help ensure the integrity of the program, including award calculation based on annual loss from the 2020 calendar year versus quarterly, grant eligibility for new restaurants that opened after January 1st, paid sick leave as an eligible expense, and ensuring that restaurants can use both the Employee Retention Tax Credit and the Restaurants Act grant program as long as they are not used for the same expenses. According to the IRC, an economic analysis of the proposal revealed that the proposed $120 billion in grants could potentially create $271 billion in economic benefits to the U.S. economy. So, yeah, movement on this. I've talked about this legislation before. Yeah, all good points, Ariel. And that's always the first. So Ariel on Instagram is talking about influencing and helping restaurants and small businesses have a smaller carbon footprint. And yeah, even before COVID, restaurants couldn't care less. what exemplifies that? I went on a road trip to go visit a friend in South Dakota, a tea friend in South Dakota. And so that road trip pretty much took me all through like middle of nowhere America that's just cow pastures, just cow pastures upon cow pastures. And I thought, wow, this could be a really incredible time to go enjoy like a really nice steak at a steakhouse and enjoy like sustainable local meat. There's got to be some steakhouse that's, doing a good job on that. And in every city that we went to, we couldn't find a single. We went through several cities and towns. We couldn't find a single steakhouse that was serving local meat, even though it's like cow country. And that's all with economics, So I couldn't eat any local meat. But then I was asking around, and I was like, well, how do people what happens to these cows? There's so many here. I can't imagine that none of them actually stay here. And they're like, yeah, you can go to certain specialty butchers, but you've got to just do that at home. You got to cook it and enjoy it at home. You cannot can't go to a restaurant, because the restaurant is just using Cisco, US Foods or Cisco, whatever is more accessible and affordable for them. So that's kind of a heartbreaking thing, that economic pressures on small businesses makes it hard for them to make good decisions. Same thing with the tea. I've tried to tell the story, and I definitely don't do it like that guy on Twitch was trying to do it, where you shame someone. Oh, that thing is bad. You shouldn't support it or use it. It's like you show them the way so that people can see it for themselves. And people will see it and they'll still choose to not follow it because it doesn't fit with some type of economic idea they have about how their business should operate. So it's definitely a challenge. All right, here's the Yelp report. Now, I have looked at these reports every quarter during this segment on Mondays. Yeah, you have to be understanding. And I think that's what I was trying to tell the guy on Twitch, was like, if you want to communicate a message like this, you have to do it in an understanding, emotionally intelligent way. You can't just like barge into the room and say, what you're doing is murder. It's like, well, these are cultural norms that we're dealing with. So you have to be patient. You have to be super patient, but still persist. Of course, persist, but patient at the same time. But yeah, it's an uphill battle. So all the reports that I've seen before and I've gone over with you guys have all been the quarterly reports. So this is the annual report. So it's a little bit juicier. Let's see what they have to say. In our previous Yelp economic average reports in Q2 and Q3, that's of 2020, we reported on business closures across the country and the resilience of local business evidenced through new openings and reopenings, respectively. While the pandemic continues to drive uncertainty in the economy, Q4 data demonstrates early evidence of an economic recovery. Although the jobs report was significantly worse. So that's what's kind of confusing. But I mean, just with business cash flow considerations in business, things don't always like line up at the same time. Sometimes some effects are delayed. So like the effect of job loss could be something else. I mean, what it could be actually is business owners learning how to run their business more lean. So it's like those jobs were lost not so much because the economy has failed and these businesses are out. These jobs might have been lost because the business owners are learning how to more efficiently run their operation with less staff, which is not good for labor, but I think if we just have patience with it, we could see some silver lining in it. Oh, thank you. Please send the ebook. I would love to check it out. Right? That's the way I see it. So, just not eating meat is, it's a lifestyle beyond just the diet thing. You know what I mean? Like, choices are a little bit more difficult. Social interactions are a little bit difficult, unless, of course, you are among a community of like-minded folks. It can be hard. But making overall sustainable decisions is not hard. That's something that we can all individually find our own path and find our own battles that we want to face in that. Oh, Bitcoin, you've made such a mess. You made such a mess, boy. How long have you been vegan, Ariel? So it says business owners had nearly 9 months of experience. This is by Q4 of last year. Business owners had nearly 9 months of experience operating during the pandemic and were better prepared to adapt their businesses amidst the new set of local restrictions. Similarly, consumers had adjusted to the new normal. Ugh, I'm just over that. Showing restraint in their vacation plans, displaying an increased interest in non-traditional wedding celebrations, and learning how to adapt their weekend plans to meet their COVID-safe lifestyle. So that explains why there, despite spikes in the spread and effect of the virus, there is still kind of this economic rebound for the restaurant industry. Food and restaurant openings were down in 2020, but had mostly recovered by Q4. And dairy as well. And then does your whole family eat vegan? Because sometimes I know that that's a challenge for people too, especially if you've got younger people in the family. It's hard for them to understand and feel comfortable with it. Yeah, so that's where it's hard. So you've made that decision, and that's been your fight that you've decided to fight for you. And I doubt when you sit with your friends for dinner, you yell at them about how their meat is murder. I doubt you do that. I don't think you would do that. I don't see you as the type of person to do that. You seem a bit more emotionally intelligent than that. You want to keep your friends around, so you got to learn how to communicate better with them. Oh, that's good. So they, like, when they eat outside, they eat what they want, but then they enjoy vegan cooking. Oh, your friends are vegan. I'm sorry. Oh, none of them are vegan. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's what I thought I understood. Yelp's data indicates that the number of restaurant and food business openings approaching and even surpassing 2019 levels in Q4. Openings are determined by counting new businesses listed on Yelp. See, but this is deceiving because there's a trend, and I wonder if they address it in this article. There's a trend right now of these ghost kitchens. And so one chef, instead of like opening up a restaurant with one full menu, now what they're doing in the ghost kitchens, because everything is just going to go out for delivery anyway, they will take that one menu and maybe break that down into like 4 or 5 different businesses. So then those businesses are specialized. So it's like, we make hamburgers, pizza, and salads. They more than likely are going to create a brand around the hamburger, and then a brand around the pizza, and a brand around the salads. And so that's why I think this could be quite deceiving to say, new restaurant openings are the same, because the whole business is all different. Oh, you don't make anything special for yourself on the holidays? I actually made a pretty good vegan green bean casserole. You have to make everything from scratch, of course, but I usually do that anyway. But when I was in the Peace Corps, I had a lot of friends that they actually stayed vegan. And once I was there and lived there, I realized that I could have maintained my meatless diet. Actually, meat hardly came into my diet. Eggs was the only thing that I got access to on a regular basis, but like eating meat was a very special treat. So I pretty much did take on, it was like rice and beans and millet and okra was my main diet, with a healthy amount of MSG to make everything taste good. But yeah, I remember one Thanksgiving I made a vegan green bean casserole, and it was really good. It was quite good. Restaurant and food business owners opened 18,207 restaurants nationwide, in Q4 down only 4%. Oh dear. Oh man, my meeting just showed up. I may have to go. I have a meeting with an artist about doing more art out in the warehouse, so gotta get ready for that. Yeah, so here's the numbers of new businesses. You can see in April and May, those numbers definitely went down. Home, professional, and local services openings suffered in Q2 but recovered by the end of the year. Well, that makes sense. A lot of people were doing like home improvement because they were spending so much time at home that they're spending their money on improving their houses. And so this makes sense. I'm not going to go into all the numbers here. I really just want to see if they address the ghost kitchen issue on new restaurants opening. Yeah, this all just makes sense. And I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat so you guys can access it yourself, in case there's things here you want to go into more detail that I'm unfortunately trying to wind this down now. So, reopening resilience, when businesses reopen more than once, man, that's a nightmare right there, man. $17,780 businesses reopened 3 times or more, but I guess that's every single time they have like a COVID case and they have to close down, depending on the protocol for their local jurisdiction. They may have to like close down every single time. It's interesting. Sorry guys. Alright, my guest is here. I'm gonna have to go, guys. But go check out this report. I don't think that there's too much incredible data in here that we haven't already considered and talked about, so. Every day felt like a Wednesday in May, but consumers were claiming their weekends. I remember that. Every day feels like a weekday. All right, guys, I've got to go. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for being around.